Just 1 week to go till Election Day, and many Coloradans have already turned in their ballots.
Good for you. Today, we want to know if you're one of those people. You can weigh in on our poll at 9news.com/vote now.
And while you are doing that, John Glasgow joins us in Denver with some numbers from the Secretary of State's office. Good morning, John.
Good morning to you as well. Well, based on previous elections, we typically see a surge of those ballots returned in the days leading up to the election. But as of this morning, only about 14% of active voters in Colorado have cast their ballots. So that's quite low. Looking to get more of those here in the coming days. According to the Secretary of State's office, a little more than 500,000 people have cast a ballot. Colorado currently has about 3.8 million active voters. And let's take a look at the breakdown by party of those who have already made their mark. So far, 36% of unaffiliated voters have turned in a ballot, 33% are Democratic, and 30% are Republican. Jefferson County has had the most ballots returned, followed by El Paso County and Arapahoe County. And the age group that's voted the most so far is men and women between the ages of 65 to 74. So there's still lots of time here to get your ballot into the box offices here. You don't want to mail it in. If you did get one in the mail, make sure to fill it out, but drop it off at a box like the one here you see behind me. Or you can actually take that ballot to the in-person voting and hand it over that way as well. So there's lots of ways that you can still cast those ballots. We have a full voter breakdown on our website, 9news.com. There's questions there. If you have them, there's some answers to those, as well as the local ballot issues that are on, as well as the candidates that are up for election as well. So lots of things to check out. But for now, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio. Corey, Gary.
All right, thank you much. Well, a lot of people have not voted yet, as John was saying, but a lot of our viewers have, that's for sure.
Good for our viewers. That's awesome. Good for you.
78% looks like?
Says yes. 122 votes right now.
Yeah.
You can keep voting all morning long by going to 9news.com/vote now. And if you're looking for a polling place or a drop box for your ballot, we have a full list on our website at 9news.com.
All right, we have some other news to report this morning. It has been almost 40 years since this girl, Janelle Matthews, disappeared from her home in Greeley. She was just 12 years old at the time. Now her family says they finally have justice. A jury found Steve Pankey guilty of kidnapping and murdering Janelle. Yesterday, the judge sentenced Pankey to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 20 years. It is a day that Janelle's family has been waiting for a long time.
I just want to cry, but it's not a crying of not having Janelle, but it's a crying of happiness.
Jim and Gloria Matthews have waited for years for answers about what happened to their daughter. She disappeared from her home after a Christmas concert back in 1984. Janelle's body was found many, many years later in 2019. Investigators arrested Pankey months later. For years, Pankey had been telling police that he could lead them to Janelle's body, but only if he was given immunity. His first trial ended in a deadlocked jury last year, but yesterday a second jury found him guilty of first-degree murder. Before the judge sentenced him, Pankey still claimed that he was innocent.
I am a Christian. I will be in heaven. I am innocent, and this is not justice for Janelle.
Pankey's lawyers say they do plan to appeal the case. In the months after Janelle's kidnapping, investigators asked people from all across the country to look out for her.
So if this happened today, police would let people know through an Amber Alert or a post online. But back in the 80s, the National Child Safety Council started using milk cartons to spread the word. And Janelle's was actually one of the first faces to be printed on milk cartons and sent to homes across the country.
By being able to put them on the milk cartons fast, we could get the word out nationwide.
Target designed the poster that appeared on cartons. President Ronald Reagan even mentioned Janelle's name in a meeting after her case got national attention.
A woman and a child are dead and 10 other people are hurt after an apartment fire in Lakewood. We first told you about this yesterday morning. Happened at the Tiffany Square Apartments near 9th and Sheridan. Lakewood police say that half the complex was destroyed. A family of 3 was hurt when they jumped out a second-floor window. 14 apartments in the complex were damaged. Police say that 2 people who died lived in one of those units. Lakewood police say a firefighter also inhaled some smoke, but he is expected to be okay. Firefighters are still looking into how it started.
The man accused of starting the Spring Creek fire in southern Colorado back in 2018 is no longer facing criminal charges. He was found incompetent several times. That happened in April, but now a judge is saying there was actually a way to have a trial that could have happened. Now, as reporter Kelly Rinke explains.
More than 140 homes were burned in the Spring Creek fire in 2018, and no one went to trial for it. Issues with the suspect's mental competency are the reason why he's no longer facing charges for starting it.
There were multiple competency hearings, and he was held not to be competent.
The district attorney in Castilla County dropped the case in April against a mentally ill man named Jesper Jurgensen. A lower court didn't allow doctors to give him medication to stay competent for trial. They found prosecutors couldn't prove he would maintain competency for that long once he went to the county jail. Last week, a higher court decided the lower court took it too far.
Court of Appeals said, hey, lower court, you're putting an extra burden. One, we don't think it just says competent at the hearing. It doesn't say through trial.
9 News legal expert Whitney Traylor says this new ruling means prosecutors didn't have to prove he would stay competent through trial, only at the hearing.
If the lower court standard was the case, nobody'd ever be competent for trial, right? So, or they could at least, just say, hey, I'm not taking my meds.
The Court of Appeals found even though prosecutors didn't have to prove it, there were ways to maintain his competency until his trial. The district attorney's office says it's unclear whether this case can be refiled.
A different district attorney started the job just a few months ago. She said Jorgensen is not at the state hospital anymore and she doesn't know where he is. Wildfires are just one of the natural disasters happening more often because of climate change, and now those disasters are making it harder for some people to keep their home insurance.
And so the federal government is going to start looking into how insurance prices are changing after wildfires happen. In some states like California and Florida, insurance companies are dramatically raising their rates, even refusing coverage to people after wildfires and hurricanes. Doesn't seem right, does it? Some smaller insurers in those states have also gone bankrupt. Well, the Treasury's Federal Insurance Office is asking companies to share data by zip code to show exactly how costs are changing in high-risk communities. In Colorado, soaring rates and non-renewals aren't really happening on the same scale as they are in California, but underinsurance is a big issue. The state's Division of Insurance found as many as 67% of families that lost homes in the Marshall Fire were underinsured, making it obviously a lot harder for them to rebuild.
The man charged with attacking Paul Pelosi is scheduled to be arraigned today. Paul Pelosi is married to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. David Rapap is accused of attacking Paul inside his home in San Francisco, fracturing his skull. According to court documents, he said he wanted to hold Nancy Pelosi hostage. She was not in the house during the attack. He is facing both federal and state charges. Today, his arraignment is for the state charges.